Here, baby. I gotta do my fatherly duties and open up some fruit snacks here. Yes, I see you have some fruit snacks. Can I have one? Give me one out of there, please. Take one out of there. Your hands clean? I hope so. Thank you. That's good. I better not get sick. Um, so I just was getting some extra energy fruit snack from the 4-year-old. Um, so today, it's Alex once again. Today I am going to continue to talk briefly. This might be the last one I make of this series about SQL or SQL injection. And like I discussed in the last video, in the previous video, I did create an application. Um, in the last video, what I did was I created um, I did a spear phishing attack. And in this video, I'm going to create, do a SQL injection on a web page. Now, this web page that I created, I grabbed this, and this is in no way, shape, or form to downplay or to degrade anybody that is out there doing this. The application that I'm using, I got off of this page, this server project that was developed by this gentleman. And he just basically was showing how to create a standalone Blazor server application using Dapper and Entity Framework. Dapper and Entity Framework, those are called ORMs. And basically, what they do is they allow you to take your C sharp code, link it to SQ, and link it to a database. Uh, I love Dapper. Dapper is super easy to use, super easy to use. But in this instance, what I'm going to do is, again, I'm not going to go over this page, but basically, I did this particular page step by step because I'd never built one of these applications before. And so the reason why I did that is because I wanted to easily stand up a web application that I would be able to perform SQL injection on. And this one fit the bill, and I'm going to show you how. So I'm going to go ahead and go into my .NET application, and we've got our Blazor application over here. Step by step, I did everything. There's a couple of steps I didn't do. I didn't. I did create an app data access objects folder instead of creating two different folders, one for my interfaces and one for my class. So I did it that way. Slight difference, but it wouldn't make that big of a difference. Um, and so, but everything else I did pretty much step by step as he discussed. So, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and launch the application, and it uses a local IIS server. And I did make a change to the first page here. Now, the gist of how this works is if you click this little button over here, or this um, navigation bar link over here, um, you can look up multiple publishers that are located on a SQL server. And so I'll go over to our SQL server. Let me get rid of that. And it's a database that you create using the called book database. So we'll just go ahead and go out to select star from publisher because that's the one that we're going to be talking about today. And let me do order by ID. And so we've got 12 rows of data in there, as you can see. Um, but what we're going to do is we're going to attack this web page. We're going to show how this web page can be attacked, first off, and then we're going to try to fix this web page. And this might be a two-part video. This first part of the video might be me showing you how the injection works. And then the next video, we'll try to maybe fix this and see if we can't do some data validation so that we can't pass in raw SQL into our web page. So as you can tell, we've got buttons that allow us to do some navigation here. We've got our 12 records, 5, 10, 12. So we're linked directly to our SQL server. One of the things that's in here, if you go back to the application, is in this JSON file right here, is what's called a connection string. And your connection string is basically how applications will connect directly to your database. Now, this information is not usually shared out in the open when you publish your app, um, but it is something that if a person has this information, then they've got access to your database. And this one's running local on this machine, so obviously I'm okay to show. But a lot of times, what people do, or the mistake that they'll make, is they'll publish that connection string somewhere in their application in the open, and that's a no-no. You don't want to do that. So, but what we're going to do today, again, is the SQL injection. So before we get into it, let's just show you what I'm going to do. And I've got some SQL saved up over here. And keep in mind, I am playing the part of somebody who is a hacker who's going to attempt to break into this SQL server via this web page using SQL. And that's all SQL injection is basically you're taking a query that is preformed and you're going to add onto that query to get rows of data back that you need. So one of the things I'm going to do, let me not do that. There we go. And I've got this in two steps here. That's the same thing. I've got this in two steps. So the first step I'm going to do is every database and every SQL server has what's called a base or a master schema. Schemas are just, how do I explain that? Again, I think I talked about it in a previous video. They're just different ways to organize your data. The schema that every Microsoft SQL server has is called information schema. And you can, just like any other table, you can write a select statement and select rows of data from that table. So select from information schema dot tables. And if I say select star, and if I run that query, I see I've got a catalog, table schema, table name, and a table type, right? So I know from this information, just using this simple query, I can find out anything about any database that I want to. So what I need to do is I need to try to write some schema that is going to um, run over on my application. So the first thing that I do is I basically am going to try to do some probing here. So here we are, and the way this particular application runs is that as soon as I start typing stuff in there, it's going to run the query. So if I type this, you see it updates right away. If I type this, I should get an error, which I don't. Um, but you see, as I type, information changes. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to create a query that I know is going to give me data back. So I came up with this query right here, and I'm going to paste it in there, and right away I can see that I've got the same information that came back in my information schema tables query. So I've got SQL that works over here, and it shouldn't. And that's what SQL injection is. You don't want your query that you put in there ever to work like this. Now I can see information that's located in this table, in this database. I can see the actual database name. I can see the schema right here. I can see the tables that are located in there. And so let's say I was going to, um, with that information, I can now come over here and do a little bit more querying. Well, I know that um, if I run, and when you use a union, you have to have the same number of returns in your um, union as your select statement. So I know that whatever table I'm looking at, which is probably this publisher table, it has at least 4 columns in it. One, two, three, four. And if I go back, I know that this has ID, name, city, and country. This action is something different. So if I click edit, it's going to go out and do an update. If I do a delete, it's going to delete the row from the table. So those are probably stored procedures. Excuse me. And so I know that I can form SQL queries based on this. And then at the beginning of my query, because this field is passing in string data, so if I put in iris press, you see how that works? Um, so that's it. Before this query, it's probably taking in a string. So I know that in SQL to exit a string or to stop a string. So if you want to do string data like we talked about before, this is string, and that's how you would query something. So this closes the query of my search, basically, um, for whatever comes before that. So if we're doing a search on where name equals something, so it would probably look something like this: name equals, and then this would be this should be where your search text would go, and then this will be the end of the query right there. So basically, what I'm doing is I'm letting all of the stuff that happens prior to that single quote to happen. So I'm basically doing this. And this union, what that does is it joins my query with the query before it. And then on the end of it, what I'm doing is I'm making this a one-line query. So this whole statement right there makes it a one-line query along with what came before, which is in the program. And then this comments out all of the other SQL that might come after this. So I can run that, get rid of this right here. So again, I can run this and get back the information that I need right there almost every time. If I go home, come back to publishers, I run that query again, and boom, there we go. Every single time I can get that information. So now I've got pieces of information that I can get to. So let's say I'm going to make a different query. So I'm just going to copy this query and paste it in there. And instead of looking at book author, I'm going to say select, going back to the information schemas, I know there's a table called publisher, there's a table called author, one's called book and one's called book author. So we know publisher has data in it. So let's do select from information schema dot columns where table name equals book author. If I run that, it shows me what's in what fields are actually in there. So there's a ISBN column, there's an author ID column, there's an author ord column. And I can tell that they're all integers in there. The third column is a nullable, so it doesn't have to have anything in it. The other two are probably keys of that table. And if we look at book author columns, we can see that's the case. We can do the same thing with publisher. There we go. So we got our ID, name, city, and country. And that's obviously what's being returned to us here. ID, name, city, and country. So what I can do is, now that I know that I can query this information, let me just grab this query, paste it up here, and I know I can say ID, name, city, country. From there, where it equals blah, put this on the end, like so. Put that on the front, and let's see what happens. So I'll come back up here. Actually, let me go home and let me rerun it here. Let's do it that way. That doesn't like something there. Uh-oh. It says reload. So I probably have a ID, name, city, country from. Oh, wait. I see why. Select. I did that wrong. Column name. Uh, no position. Table name. And is nullable. Let's try running that. See what we get. Yep, it doesn't like that. Let's get rid of this right here. So, but in any case, we know that we've got a table called publisher in here. Again, if I run this, I get this information back. So now, if I'm a very nasty person here, I can take that information, knowing that I've got a table in there, and I can delete everything out of that table, just like this. Copy that, go back up here, and now all that data is gone from that table. If I come back, I'm like, uh-oh, there's no data in the table. Nothing's there. If I close this application, I can relaunch it, and it won't matter. There's no data in the table anymore. It's gone. It's bye-bye. It's out of there. See? No records. Deuces. So how can we get around that? Well, let's re-add our data real quick. And it just so happens that I've got the insert statement handy here. If I go back and rerun it, I've got my stuff there again. So how can we stop this from happening? Well, let's look at our application. How did I do that? How did I get around that? Well, one thing that you can do is you can parameterize your query. Now, this is kind of parameterized, but what I mean by parameterized queries is instead of doing this right here, create actual parameters that you're going to be able to pass into your query. You do this, you're asking for trouble. This is SQL injection right there. So you can create actual fields onto your um, uh, application and pass those in, and then you can put types of data on those actual pieces of uh, data that you're passing in, and you can scrub that data ahead of time and validate that it's actual parameters and not um, uh, SQL that's going to damage your stuff. So let's go. So save that. Let's go to the page where we're actually grabbing the data. I believe this is the one right here. And what this is basically a Razor page. It's a web page that runs server-side code on it. And so here you see ID, name, city, and country. And then there's an action there. And this is where it's grabbing the data right here out of our table. This is our edit right here. And then this is our delete function right here. And so if we go to our search field, which is right here, what we can do is we can actually add more information into this and change our query a little bit. So let's see what happens if we do this. Row column. Now this is not my judge again. Um, this is um, front end coding. So let's relaunch that and see what we got going on here. Okay, go to our publishers page, and there's our column right there, or a row. That's this right here. So let's take the pull right off of it, save it, relaunch this thing here. Can I do that? Bam. No, we'll just relaunch the app. We gotta recompile it anyway. Okay, so now if I go back over there, you see how that's over there now. Okay, so instead of um, let's put a little bit of, let's put a space there too, because we need a little bit of space in there. There we go. A little bit of room. Okay, so now instead of us having a general search term, because this says search names on there, let's just make it so that it only is a name. Okay, and what we can do is we can scrub it to make sure that there's no special characters or anything else like that in there. And then we can invalidate any injection type stuff from happening. So let's make another input. Just paste that in there. And then let's paste one more in there. And instead of it being text search, we're going to call it text search name, text search city. This is text search country. Alrighty. Now let's find text search. So we're going to have to change that up. Okay. And then class form control, text search name. Let's do this first. We'll find all references, just those three. Let's redo. Okay, save that, rebuild it. We're probably going to get an error. And then we'll go down to our search. Where you at? Right here, I think. There we go. Yeah, search term. Let's filter records. Go to definition. We need to find where we're grabbing our ID for our search. Okay, that's the list all. That's what happens when we come in to the page fresh. And then, is it this one right here, maybe? Let's look for that one right there. Search term. Find all. Ah, there we go. So we're going to make two more properties. And we're going to call that one search term. Where'd you go? There you go. This is a property. And instead of it being search term, we're going to call it search name. Call this search name. There we go. Now let's find search term. We'll change that to search name. So this first one is going to be search name, like so. Go away quickly. And then down here, this list all method, what we're going to have to do, and that is in our publisher service.listAll, and that's over here in our DAO. There, and in our data there. So in our list all here, we're going to have to put in, instead of the string search, we're going to have search name. And then we're going to have search string, search country. We'll make that one last. And then city, string, search city. And what that does is it just automatically sets it to blank right away. We'll get back to this in a second here. Now we've got to come over here to our interface, and this list all, we've got to change that to search name, string, search city, string, search country, like so. Let's go back here. And now we've got search name, search city, search country. Okay. Now what we need to do on this same page is create two more properties. Search city, search country. We'll copy that twice. And then instead of that being search name, that's going to be search city. Ooh, search city. And that'll be search city there. That'll be search city there. Oh, search country here. And this will be search country. Alrighty. Now we've got some more stuff to fix here. We'll have to come back to that in a minute. Let's go back to our razor page here. And it doesn't like something here. Let me move that out of the way. Up. This will be search city. This will be search country. And that squiggly line will go away. And then down here, we'll do the search name there. And we'll just have to basically copy the same thing here, our name, city, and country that's in this method, and replace that with this. Anywhere it says search list all, we're going to change that. Should be one more. There we go. Yeah. There we go. So our razor page is set up. Now we have to come over here to our service, and we need to change our query up. Oh, let me do it this over this way here. Go back to our razor page. So one of the things that we can do prior to even sending it to our service is we can make sure that there's only alphanumeric data in there. One of the best ways to do that is to do a regex on it. That's my little cheat sheet there. So we can say regex C# letters only. And we could say verify string right there. There's our regex. Boom. So now, if we go to our first list all, where there's a task in here, and we don't want to do that there. Let's see here. Where can I do that? Oh, I can actually just create a new method called validate or input or something like that. Something like this. Bool asynchronous string. There we go. And in here, I'm going to do my validation on the page. And actually, let's do this. Let's do bool is valid equals false right away. Return is valid. Let's make it true. All right, now I'm going to do three kinds of validation. That's all going to be on my search field. Now, keep in mind this SQL injection is not going to. This is only going to be on the field. This SQL injection remedy is only on the field. It does not include any communication between the server, any services, your application, any of that kind of stuff. This is strictly on the field alone. So we've got the name. What do we need to validate? The city, the country. So I need to put a regex on all three. So I wonder if I can do system.text.regular expression.regex. Yes, I can. And put that in there. Ooh, let's just do it this way then. Is match. I wonder if I can just use regex. Can I just use regex? And no, I gotta do system text expressions regex and is match. And I can put system search name in there. And I can say if it's true, and to test that out, what we can do is we can grab that, copy that, and we can actually pull up our other little application, our drawing a blank here, link pad. Oh, I don't have it on here. I thought I had it on here. Link pad. Huh. I guess I don't. Um, oh, that's cool. Anyway, what I can do, I can say that is, um, if the regular expression is a match, this looks for only letters and numbers. If it's true, then is valid, or I can say if not. I can say if not. And I can also put this under an or copy that, not, search name, search city, or not that, then is valid equals false. Take those out of there. So what that should do, if my let me just do this here real quick, just so we can run this. And we'll just put this, we'll comment that out. And I'll just put this in there like that. And then I'll just put that like that. And we'll compile that and run it and see what happens here. There we go. And you see we've got our search names fields in there, and it just says search names, but we got to change that. So let's see if we can't something here. It doesn't like that. I'm forgetting something here. Well, first off, let's go back to our page. And we're going to search names, search cities, search countries. And let's just make this into a row. And recompile it, make it kind of look pretty. I'm not worried about it looking pretty. I'm just more worried about it working. Well, that's really large. um, so that's going to be, we'll put these in 3 separate divs. Row, column, medium, 1 for that div. Div. 2. I don't think this is going to do like I'm thinking it is. 3. I think it's just gonna stagger them one, boom, boom, like one here, one here, one here. But we're about to find out. Yeah, that's what I thought. Grr. Row call dot md dot 3 left. Mm, 3 float middle float. They all float down here. I think it's a line. Center. I so suck at this. Float. Right. This is not going to work. I probably need to put that on the text inputs and not on the. Well, actually, that actually worked better than I thought. That's what I kind of wanted to do right there, but let's get rid of that. Middle end. I don't think that's right either. Not what I wanted to do, but we'll make it work. Okay. So now we have this on input in here. We need to find where that's at. That's the event. So then class is form control, text search name, float left. Yada, yada, yada. Oh, the reason why that didn't work is because I didn't call it. Okay, so before I do that, I'll do this and say if validate input, then I want to do this. And then I'll do the same thing So that's on initialized. And so then we've got our breakpoint up there. Got our delete, our sort. We'll just do it on the first one there. And then on this refresh records there, we won't worry about that one. So we'll recompile our code. We should hit that breakpoint, hopefully, when I click on there. Yep, there we go. And it didn't like something there. What didn't it like? Oh, wait, I know. I gotta do this. Rx new text regex. And then we'll grab that, copy that, paste you in there. And instead of calling that, we can say if Rx is match. No, if Rx matches. And then that'd be search name there. If Rx matches. This match. Search city. Or is match. Bam. Search city, search name. Or is Rx match search country. Get rid of you. Now let's see if that works. Come back over here, F10, F10, F10. But it doesn't like that. F10, F10, F search city. Oh, wait, that's why. Why is it null? Let's initialize this to null, to empty string instead. Now let's try that. Doesn't like those nulls, does it? Regex won't work on nulls, y'all. It's string. So there we go. So it's not valid. So I might have that backwards. So those there. We need to make that an and an and. I'll just make this neater here. There we go. Excuse me. So our name is blank, blank, blank. So it's true. All right, let's put in a special character in here. So you see I put in the underscore there. Let's see if that works. No. Oh wait. I think that's why. Retest that. So basically what I'm doing, y'all, is I'm trying to make sure that this logic is going to work when I first come into my code. Boom, boom, boom. That's blank, blank, blank. Okay. Put an underscore there. F10, F10, blank, underscore, blank there. Let's put an ampersand in there, or a percentage sign in there. And maybe that regex is not working. That shouldn't be working there. We just gotta get this regex working. Once we do that, then we'll be okay. So is match, Alex. So if it's not only letters and numbers, only letters and numbers, only letters and numbers. Hmm. I could do it that way, but I don't like that way. But regex is match. Input only letters and numbers. Yeah, that should. Well, I didn't put the underscore. Yeah, okay. This would be so much faster if I had a link pad. I could test this out myself. You know what? I'm gonna pause this and we're gonna get link pad here. Okay, we're going to. I just downloaded link pad on my machine here. We're gonna run this real quick, and I'm gonna test that logic out. That doesn't seem right to me. Let's see. So let's see here. I'll grab that, copy that, say bam, system.text, regex, and then string input equals xdf jkl semicolon. We've got our regex there, regex info, and then we're going to dump. It doesn't like that. Bool does not. Oh, that's why. It's a Boolean value. Dot to string dump. So that's false because it's got the semicolon in there. So let me do what I was doing over here. Grab that. Grab this. Come up chur. Copy that. Get rid of that. Paste that in there. Delete those. Get rid of that. Oh, no. It doesn't like something there. Make these a lowercase s. 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 Expected 1, 2, system.text dot regular expressions dot, I think that's a capital E, Alex, isn't it? System.text dot regular expressions dot regex rx is match search name. Well, first off, we'll get rid of this right there, right there, right there. There we go. Bool is valid. And we'll say, instead of doing that, we'll say is valid to string. Instead of doing that, we'll just say false dump. Let's do that instead. There we go. I got to put something in there. JKL ASDF A JKL. Let's put an else on there. In the condition. And else. Run that. So these are letters. If I put a semicolon in there, I should get the in else. Yep, okay. So I have that right. So this looks for if it matches letters only, upper and lowercase, then that's right. This should be true. This should be false. There we go. Search city, search name, search country. All right, so let's restart that. Click our little link down there. It should just go right on past it. Yep, there we go. What the heck? Oh. um, let's flip those back around where we had them. And yeah, let's actually make those ors. Or and or. Otherwise, our stuff's not going to load. Clicky. That ain't right. Oh, this is so confusing to me. We want this to be true. This is going to be false. Keep flipping these around, y'all. Bam. So if it's not, that doesn't make sense to me, but okay. So I'm going to put an underscore in there. See what happens. No, see, that's not working like I want it to. It ain't working. I don't know if that regex is right or not. This says it is, though. This says it should work. It should work. Equals true. So if it's a valid thing, I want it to say to return that. Let's just do it that way instead of doing all of this junk. Else, false, and boom. And get rid of view, get rid of you. So the way that should work is if, and I get rid of that right there. As long as it's valid, it should come back true. We'll see here in a minute. No, it's still not doing it the right way. 10 blank blank blank. It's probably because spaces are not spaces aren't valid. Placeholder. Let's see. I bet you if I put if if equals blank and equals blank and review. There's an easier way to do this, y'all. I'm making this harder than it should be. If that equals blank and search name equals blank and then turn true. Okay. Clicky, doom, doom, doom. That's what I thought. Bam. I should get data back. Underscore should go down into this false right here. Boom, 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 boom. Yep. And it doesn't return anything. And what I should do is clear the columns, but there's no clear columns on here. I won't worry about that. Anyway, this is a lot. Okay, so we've got a little validation on there. So now we should be able to try to iris press. Okay. And let's go back to our regex conditionals here. Our validate input 5 I. And if I 5 that, now this search name should be iris PR E S, and put the last one in there. If I put S in there, should say, yep, Iris Press. And F10, F10, F10. Uh-oh. Doesn't like that. So I'm going to have to do something different here. Instead of this conditional here, I'm going to have to break this into a different conditional here. Let's just do it on the name only here, just to start out with. We redo that, and then when we come to our dilly what's it here, got the first conditional, boom, get data back. Conditional that. And then I got this last one here. And I got to change that from city to name, actually. Name. There's a lot to this, y'all, when you're playing around with stuff. Publishers. Yep, there we go. So this is just a really easy way to do some validation on it. And then what I'm going to do next, if I put an S in there, oh, I must have messed something up there. Bam. I-R-I-S. Just put Iris in there. Okay. So now I'll put Iris in there. There we go. So let's do a little bit more on this. We've got this part kind of working here. The last thing we need to do is we need to come over to our service. We're going to uncomment. I'm going to get rid of this. We're going to uncomment this here. Now let's make this a little bit more in depth here. So we need to actually pass in parameters. So the easiest way to do this that I've learned is to parameterize. So we've got parameters up here. We know they're strings, but what we can do is we can, like we did before, we can parse out special characters and stuff from that string. So now the next thing I'm going to do, instead of doing this, I'm going to make this into an at there. And then do the same thing here. Get rid of you. What is this doing, y'all? I'll show you. What we're going to do is we're going to declare some actual scalar variables. Of our, we're going to do a city name. We're going to do a name at name, and we're going to make it a specific size. It can be 20 bytes long. It's a var char for 20. is not nullable. And then we're going to do this. Instead of doing that, string. Format. And you go there. And then you go comma. And then this is going to be set at name equals 0. And then in here, we're going to pass in search city like that. And instead of doing this here, where name is like zero, and then the next thing we'll pass in is our order by direction, skip, take. Order by that. This will be 1, 2, 3. I don't think this is gonna work, y'all. 4. Set name, and we'll do the same thing for our skip. Int ordered by is a string. I don't know how long it can be. 0. Oh, order by, it's on our publisher page, right? Yeah, short column names ID. Can that change? No. Skip. Bar char, what's the maximum field in here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 7. Make that 7 byte, 7 bytes long. At 0, 1, 2, 0. Take 0, 1, 2, 0, 1, 2, 3. Take is an integer. Take int set at skip equals 1. That's order by set. Oh, I'm missing one direction. And that's going to be a char 4. Skip skip, set. Let's not skip. This one goes down one. This is order by. Ordered by. Let's put them in the right order, y'all. Name or city or whatever. Column. City. Ordered by goes there. Direction goes there. Skip and take. There we go. Name ordered by equals 1. Skip equals 2. This is actually direction. Set. Skip. 3. Set. Take. 4. 4. There we go. Let's rebuild this. I don't think this is gonna work, but we'll see here in a minute. I think it's gonna be wrong because of the single quotes. It's gonna be off. Boom, publishers, F10, and yep, that's what I thought. Hold on here. Go back here. Let's throw that exception instead of just doing that try catch. One doesn't like something there. I guess what we can do is we can just copy this string format stuff here. Get out of there. We can copy this right here. And put it in save R, SQL equals string format, blah, 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 blah. There we go. Instead of doing that, just take this, SQL. Uh-oh, what'd I do? Get all string sp. Oh, that's why. I'm gonna take this and turn that into SQL like that. So now what I can do is I can come down here and see what my SQL is generating here. I can actually try it out and see what happens. Bam! And I can copy that. Come over here. Oop, not there. Hit F5 and yep. Doesn't like that. Set name. My string.format doesn't like that for some odd reason. Blank, 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 blank. I gotta put the blanks on there. Boom, boom. Boom, Let's see what I got. No, just one. Get you out of there. Boom. This is not the most efficient way to do this, y'all, but it's better to have some kind of a method that handles this stuff for you, so you have to do it every time. Blank, ID, description, that's an integer, so that's not going to be right there. So varchar, varchar, char, the two ints don't need that and that and that and that. Get rid of you, recompile you, bam. And so now, let's see what I get this time. Where name, close that, something's off there. Where name, like, oh, I know what I did. At name, oop, stop. Order by, ord by, and at direction. And offset is at skip. And this is take. There we go. And let's rerun that. And do that again. Copy that. Paste that in there. Where's not at? Oh, get rid of that. And it doesn't like direction. Order by. Order by. Oh, I know what's going on here. This has to be the actual name of the. This is the name of the. There we go. That's why. And this is DSC. These are keywords. This is a keyword. That'll work. Yeah, something like that. Well, well then let's just change that up then. I wonder if I can do that. Case when at or at direction. Else. Nope, doesn't like that. I need to make some dynamic SQL there or something. I don't know. But for the time being, let's just, the direction is based off of what we've got going on with the let's see, why do we need that? I don't know why we do need that. Let's take this off here. Get you off of there. Go. That's the SQL we need right there for right now. I got two semicolons there. Nope, that won't work. I gotta recompile my code. No records to display. Okay, now let's put an I in there. And let's copy that. Come over here. Run it again. Oh, wait. Oh, it's still putting my 0 order by. I'm gonna take that order by out of there. The direction. And then the skip and the tick will stay in there. Let's rerun this again. Publishers 5. Let's put an I in there. Search city is not right there. It's because I'm using the wrong field, you big dummy. Search name. Damn many crickets. I probably had it right a while back. Okay. Search names. Let's just click that off there. See what we get back. At name, we're like, oh, wait. We gotta do this too. Let's see. Now that's getting into some hairy territory there. There we go. And then IRIS like that. So that's working. So now let's try to do our SQL again and see what happens this time. Our bad SQL. Hopefully this does not do the same thing it did before. Yep, it does not work anymore because we'll try the other one. So our SQL, by parameterizing our query and doing some validation on the client side, we successfully gotten rid of our SQL. It took a while. Most of it was just getting in our, breaking our stuff and getting it to work again. But we actually got our stuff to work. So I just broke it again here because now I'm sorting it again, and I didn't have my SQL validation stuff in all the right places. So now I'm going to go back down here, copy that, and just run it again. Get our rows back now. Yeah. So now all I would need to do at this point, anywhere where I'm doing any kind of an insert or an update or anything like that, I just need to do my validation on it before I hit my service. So I just need to call my validate input right there, like I'm doing there. Anywhere I'm doing list all or I'm doing delete. So I can say if validate input and there, and then right here again, put a close bracket, up here and put an open bracket. Uh-oh, what'd I do? I broke it, y'all. Ah, that's why. Sort records, list all, da da da. If put else. I don't know how that's going to work, but that's sorting the records. And then sort table, sort records. Anywhere where I'm going to do my and I just touched the list all down here. That's the refresh. If input and do that list all. There. I think there's another one here somewhere. Oh, let's try that. I probably just broke it to no end here, but I know I've been on here recording for an hour and a half. Jeez. Okay, so let's try it again. Let's press. And delete this row. Yep, everything looks good. It's not refreshing though, but that's another fix. But at least we got rid of this issue here. Let's try this again here. Let's try this again here. Yep, we got rid of that issue. So now it's not, we can try it in another, probably gonna blow this thing up here. Yep, so at least we've got rid of that issue. We did break something else, but regardless of that, we got rid of the SQL injection. Now we would just need to go through and fix on our records. Let's see here. I'm going to go do one more select on that. Select from publisher. And see if I didn't lose all of my rows. I have 11 rows of data in there. I'm only showing these few. It's probably because I've got, because of the way I fix my query. But regardless of that, I would just need to tweak my query to get the right results back and stuff. But at this point, I have pretty much locked down the SQL injection for the fields that are on the screen. So this has been a long video. Um, Hopefully this gives you an idea of what kind of we kind of look for um, during SQL injection on in our apps. This is just one area of SQL injection. This doesn't include other ones, but this is just one example. So I'll publish this video and hopefully you learned something today, um, either to how to and or how not to do something. So peace.